journey was long, and Liam's legs ached as he trudged through the thick snow. But when they finally reached the shoreline, he gasped. There, struggling against the frozen landscape, was the massive polar bear, his powerful body still trapped inside the shell. He growled softly, exhausted from his efforts to break free. Liam knew this was beyond anything he could do alone. Without wasting another second, he reached into his thick jacket, pulled out his radio, and called for help. "This is Liam. I'm out near the northern ice cliffs. I found a polar bear trapped in a shell. He needs help." The response crackled through the radio. "Stay put, Liam. We're sending the rescue team now." Minutes later, the sound of a helicopter rumbled through the air. The Arctic rescue team had arrived. A team of experts in heavy jackets and gloves descended onto the ice, carrying ropes, tools, and thermal cutters. Carefully, they approached Coda, assessing his condition. "This shell is frozen solid," one rescuer noted. "If we don't remove it carefully, he could get hurt." With precision and teamwork, they worked quickly. One rescuer placed a stabilizing harness around Coda's shoulders, while another used a special heated saw to weaken the thick ice surrounding the shell. The machine hummed as it cut through, steam rising from the melting frost. Coda groaned, his breath visible in the freezing air. His cubs whimpered beside him, but the rescue team didn't stop. Slowly, carefully, they pried the shell apart, piece by piece, until... "Papa, what do we do?" Nico cried, his voice quivering. "We need help," Tala said firmly. She nudged her brother, and without another word, they turned and sprinted across the tundra, their tiny paws kicking up powdery snow. For what felt like hours they ran, their breath turning to mist in the freezing air. Then, through the swirling snowfall, they spotted something unfamiliar. A small human, bundled in layers of warm clothing, playing near the edge of an icy field. The boy, whose name was Liam, was rolling a snowball when he noticed the two polar bear cubs racing toward him. His breath hitched. Polar bears were dangerous, but these cubs, they looked desperate. Their round eyes pleaded for help. Curious and cautious, Liam took a step closer. "What's wrong?" he whispered, as if expecting an answer. Tala and Nico circled him anxiously, yipping and nudging his coat. Finally, they started running away, only to stop and look back, urging him to follow. Liam hesitated for a second, but then took a deep breath and ran after them. The Arctic wind howled through the frozen tundra, sweeping across endless stretches of white. Amidst the ice and snow, a powerful polar bear named Coda prowled near the shoreline with his two cubs, Nico and Tala. They had ventured far in search of food, but the journey was treacherous. The ice beneath them groaned as they walked, the cold biting at their fur. As they approached a frozen inlet, Coda spotted a peculiar shape buried in the snow, an enormous spiral shell left behind by a long-lost sea creature. But as Coda stepped closer, the ice beneath him gave way slightly, and before he could react, his large paws slipped. He tumbled forward, his massive body twisting as he fell. In an instant, his head and shoulders became wedged inside the hollow shell. Coda roared, trying to free himself, but the shell was heavy. Its icy surface slipped. Every movement only made it worse. His cubs watched in horror as their father struggled. Panic filled their small hearts. Tala nuzzled him, trying to help, but he was trapped. Crack! The shell split open, and with one final effort, Coda pushed himself free, stumbling forward onto the ice. He shook his massive body, sending a spray of frost into the air. His cubs rushed to his side, nuzzling him with relief. Liam grinned as the rescuers cheered. One of them patted him on the shoulder. "Good job, kid. You helped save a life today." Coda turned his enormous head toward Liam, his dark eyes meeting the boy's. For a moment, it was as if he understood. Then, with a final snort, he nudged his cubs, and together they disappeared into the snowy wilderness, safe once more. As the helicopter lifted off, Liam watched the white figures vanish into the Arctic, his heart full. He had come to the ice to play, but today he had been part of something much greater, a moment of connection between human and nature, bound by kindness and courage. And in the distance, beneath the glow of the northern lights, Coda and his cubs walked on free once more.